All right, what's up, comic book junkies? This is part 2 of my Golden Age pickups from 2024. It was just, I had a fun time pulling out. I was going to do 24, and then I just kept finding books that I had purchased from last year, and my stack got bigger and bigger and bigger. So instead of making an hour-long video or 45 minutes, we're going to go ahead and do a two-parter. So this is the second part. Let's turn it around, and let's continue with the Golden Age pickups from Night Tiger Comics. All right, so this was an auction win. There were a couple other books I was really trying to get. They were all Golden Age Ghost Rider related. This was the first Black Phantom, number 25 from 1951, but this is Tim Holt. I actually read this, guys. If you have not read this, the Frank Boal art in here is so good. It's all good girls fighting and as the heroes and the villains. And I'm telling you, the art is just so good in here. I was blown away when I opened it. I love art that's so good that you just, like, each panel you stop and you just stare at it, look at the intricacy and the detail and the line work, and you just can't believe how beautiful it is. That was the kind of art that was inside here. It was really good. So this is a prize book of the year. So it was an auction, went on eBay. What did I pay for this? And it was shipped from England. So I won it basically for like $95 or something. So nothing is less than that. It was like $80. No, I'm sorry. It was like 65. And then the shipping was 25. So that brought it out to 90, and then with taxes came out to $106. But well worth it. It's a really high grade copy. It's like a 7.5, maybe an 8.0. This book, I think it's missing centerfold. Actually been looking for the rest of these in the series, but this book is super scarce. It does have it has a Matt Baker story art in it. It's number 2 from October 53. Who does that cover? I know who does it, but I wrote it down. Bernard Bailey cover. Just a really good cheesecake cover. Dear Lonely Hearts, number 2. And if you don't believe me on these books, go look and see if you can find them for sale online. This series is a ghost series. So I'm always looking for those very scarce books in the Golden Age. And I believe it's missing centerfold, but I'm not sure. It actually might be complete. I'm going by my memory. And I bought this in January, so it's a year ago. So my memory's not the best. So if you watch this channel and you know how much I love Golden Age, you know how much I love buying the War Bond stamp covers. So this is from 1944, War Bond cover from Target Comics. And these books like this are really tough to find. So this was October 1940. What did I say? 44. I paid $56 with shipping, which I think was a really good deal. I'm always looking for like the $50 to $30 price point on these books. I don't like to spend more than $50 on them. So that's cool. I love it. Tough book to get. Scarce, I'll say. And then speaking of that, this is actually my third copy of this book that I picked up. And I paid with shipping and tax $29. It was $20 on eBay, buy it now, and then the tax and the shipping and the tax, so it came out to $29.16. New Funnies with Andy Panda. It's a low grade. I found one of these years ago, and I just love the green and how it matches the War Bond. And I found a second copy, and I paid more for those other ones than I paid for this one. So buy one of these War Bonds today. Number 89. I don't know if I said what the year was on it. 1944. So I got 3 of those now in the collection. This book is missing 3 wraps. I'm actively collecting the early Magic comics that have Mandrake Foley on the cover. This is number 24 from July 41. Very low grade, but it was with shipping and tax, $29.77. And if you know these books, they're really, really scarce. So it presents well. It's got the severed head right there fully. So I was happy with that purchase. And, I'll still be looking for a higher grade copy. But I'm not holding my breath on these. I mean, years past, before COVID, a couple of years before COVID, I could find them for $50, pretty frequently. But now they're averaging around $200. So, okay, another big purchases, or not big purchase, but big finds, big key finds for me. Never thought I'd own this book. I paid $175. It's from February 43, and it's a Hitler cover, big Nazi symbol. It's complete. I believe it's missing the cards so the cards take up half the back cover, and you could cut them out. They had the characters' pictures, so half the back cover is missing. Other than that, it's complete. And I did take it apart. I forget. I think I reinforced. Oh, the centerfold was detached, and it was actually misprinted when it was put in. It was larger than the book, so I trimmed the centerfold, reattached it, and kicked myself for not soaking this cover, because I could have got this out. And it was the toughest part of pulling these books apart is putting them back together and getting that staple in there just right, especially since it's so thick. It's not the easiest thing to do, and I did a good job putting it back together. That I'm probably afraid to pull it apart again to soak it. So I'm just going to leave it where it is. It's a beautiful book. And somehow I have big fishing line that holds my books onto the shelves. It got pulled out by maybe backing my chair up to the wall. And I didn't notice it. It was sticking there. And I went to grab it and it fell. And it split it right there. I was so mad. But what can you do? Good story, read it, great issue, couldn't say enough about that. Another great addition to my collection. Now, that one's missing half the back cover. This one's missing the full back cover. And it's missing, I think, 2 of the first pages. Other than that, it's all there besides those 3 things. It's a Hitler cover again, Toe and Mussolini. War Bonds, and there's actually a Golden Age Joker appearance in here, so it's a great book. It also has this really weird character called Pussycat, female superhero, so it's really cool. I did read this and enjoyed it thoroughly, and so glad to have this in my collection. This is definitely a book that stays on my wall. Another book that'll stay on my wall. And if you know my room, if you have not seen my room, I have wall books everywhere. So there was your room tour for the season. Finally got this in an auction. It says split cover, but it is not. It's only split a little bit. It's number 1. I've been looking for this book for years, under $50. So 1941, The Face. And there was only 4 issues in the run. And there's only 2. The first 2 issues are called The Face. And the last 2 are called Troy Trent, which is his alter ego. And the 3rd issue has a Face story. And then the last issue doesn't have any more Face. So it's really weird. He appeared in Big Shot Comics, and this is a Columbia publisher. And very cool book. And I've seen lower grade missing centerfolds and stuff like that coming up for sale on eBay and on my comic shop. going for more than what I paid for this. So happy I waited. I probably waited about 4 or 5 years to finally find a copy like this where I could afford it, because I really wasn't gonna pay more than $50. Like I say, 50 is try to stay average at 50, but 30 is really where I try to purchase books at. But if it's a big book, I'll go up to 200. I rarely go over $200 on a book. Speaking of that, here's one I paid $169 with shipping. Number 19 from June 47, Red Steel Comics. Now, up to 18 was actually published by Harry Chesler. I think he sold the licensing to the Red Seal title to Superior Comics. Is it Superior or Bell Feature? Superior Publisher. So what they did was they created brand new covers using actually Harry Chesler characters, but they put reprints in them. Or not reprints, but original material, but it wasn't Harry Chesler studio stuff. It was by Superior Comics. So it's a really weird, when you get into researching these books, you start finding out a lot of things, but it's a really cool horror cover. And I love this book. This is another one that's going to be on my wall forever, probably. And try to find this. Super scarce. This is a book I passed on one for $75. It was a decent condition. This one's actually higher grade. Then a lot of lower ones came up. Finally, I said, I'm going to snag this before the Christmas show. So I paid up for it with shipping and tax. Originally, it was $125. And then after tax and shipping, it was $141. January 1945, Christmas issue, but a really, really nice copy of this. And I read this one. It's a really fun book. So, yeah, Captain Marvel Adventures, number 42, 1943, 45. Really nice copy of that. So if you can see up on my wall over here, you got Funny Animals right there. And I have 2 copies of that. So I'm trying to collect all the keys from the Fawcett Funny Animals run, and managed to knock 2 more off my list this year. At first, I won this auction for this one. Actually, with shipping and tax and everything, it was only $8.50. It's missing 3 wraps, but this book is so scarce. It's number 6, May 5th, 1943. And you can see it's For Victory by the United States War Bond and stamps. And yeah, I got that for $8. So I haven't read that one yet. But I've looked, I've never seen it for sale before, and I've still never seen another one for sale. So do your due diligence, prove me wrong, find one, and hopefully you can purchase it. So I knocked that one off, and then I just got this one. So this is number 3 from 1943. I paid with shipping and tax $59.90, $79 for that. And this is probably a 4.5 copy, 5.0. But the funny thing is, there was another seller that had one for $70, and it was falling apart. And he wouldn't come down. And I'm like, I want a better looking copy. So finally found this one. I actually got to read it on my cruise. It was a really good, fun read. Spirit of 76, but you can see Spirit of 43 by War Bonds cover. So very happy to find that one. So I'm always looking for the War Bonds. I think I found all the War Bonds. Now I have to finish up the Christmas ones. And there's 4 Christmas cover issues. I have 2 of them already. I think number 2 is the one that is the hardest to find. At one point in my collecting career, I've never owned a Golden Age Green Lantern. Now I have 4 different issues of All American Comics. And picked this one up this year, number 74. And what did I pay for that? It's complete, $94.16 after shipping. I had to reattach a couple inner I think 3 or 4 inner wraps. I reinforced the back, added some pieces to it. It was missing some big chunks. I think I did a great job. I did some really amateur restoration work on this book. But happy to have it, of course. If I sell it, I don't know if I could sell it for what I paid because of all the work I did to it, but it's my book and I love it. Boy, this one's going to be a little bit longer than the other one, so we should probably step it up. It's a completely split cover, but kind of a horror. And there's only like 6 or 7 Star Spangled Comic issues that have Batman on the cover. So happy to get this killer one. 1949 and Rancho Fear. So pretty cool, fun read. Golden Age Batman, can't go wrong with that. Beautiful cover. Great seller. He was selling his dad's collection. Shadow Comics. I've seen a couple people post their purchase of this book. So obviously September 41. My comic shop. This was the better of the 2 issues. $125 with shipping. It was originally $115, but it was fun to read. It had the East Side Kids in there, which was a surprise. I used to watch that when I was a kid growing up. And just a cool shark cover. Then I've had a couple funnies, but I never had a Captain Midnight funny in my collection. And this book is actually really nice. These funnies are always really low grade. So beautiful copy. If you go on my comic shop right now, there's actually 2 issues up there for like $150. One's $130, one's $150. And they're like 2.5 copies or lower. And what did I pay for this one? I paid $80, just shy of $79.59. And really fun read. This was a great story. But look at that. It's a really nice copy of that. Captain Midnight. And then if you know, he was a radio show. And then Fawcett got the licensing a few years after Dell. So this is a Dell publisher. I just picked this one up. I couldn't believe I got it for $20 shipped. Joe Simon, Jack Kirby issue by War Bonds. And what else can I say about that? They graded it as fair because it has these rips that had Scotch tape on them. Other than that, the book's complete. The interior pages are really nice and bright, crispy. Not crispy, but firm. And so, yeah, for $20, this is one I'm going to probably read later today. Really happy with that purchase. I couldn't believe it. Adds to my War Bond collection. This book's missing centerfold, but it's a Schomburg. Paid $86 for this. Good Girl cover. Starling Comics number 43. That's just a killer cover, too. With Pyroman, Crash Plane, Good Girl. Number 43. 1947. Originally, I paid $80 for that, so I bought a few other books, so it really brought the shipping down, which I added into the price. Learn to Fly, and she crashes the plane, so you got your little bit of humor there. Just a great cover, though. This is on my wall. I love looking at this book. And then I paid up for this one. It's a 7.0. It was graded 7.0 by my comic shop. I paid $114 after shipping. Like I said, I've been actively going after romance books this year, and I just thought that was a great graphic. Beautiful leg cover. Good Girl. Love this black dress right here. I paid $114 for that. That's by Quality Comics. It's Love Letters number 2. And these single-digit issues are pretty tough to get, so I think it was pretty good. I love it. I'm not complaining. Okay, down to the last 4 books. This was a high-grade copy of this. Horror cover, number 51, February 1944. Nice little skull. Has a really good kind of horror doorway of beauty-ish story in it. And it's high grade, so that's why I paid up for it. And I've seen this book in lower grade than this going for more money than what I paid for it. So I think it was a great investment. fun read, and just a really nice book, though. I mean, condition-wise. Nice skull. What did I pay for that? Paid $157 for that. And I realize when the books are in a much higher condition in the Golden Age, I mean, you're going to pay up, and sometimes I just bite the bullet and do it. Look at her sock right there, and then look at her leg right there. Okay, well, I picked up these from the same two sellers. These books are kind of tough, and these are more desirable of the series. So I paid $56.66 for that. I just finished reading this. If you haven't read this series, it is really good. And in this issue, he actually starts a little series on how he explains how he came up with a character and then how he writes the issues. And it carries on to the following issue. But really fun. Read that on the cruise. Just a cool book. It's got this gizmo here. He built this. It helps him like absorb all the information from any book he puts right there. And this is from 1948, Super Snipe. And then I picked up the second Super Snipe from the same seller, $60. Just a really cool cover. And all the covers have the kid here, and he pretends to be the superhero that he's the Super Snipe. So he's jumping over the moon on skis. A nice outer space cover. I haven't read this one yet. So February 1945. The boy with the most comic books in America. So the last book of my 2024 haul, Golden Age haul. And this one I picked up from my comic shop. Whiz Comics number 20. I got it really cheap. So I got it under $100. They say it because it has mold in it. I'm going to go ahead and pull it apart and soak all the wraps and put it back together to get rid of the mold. But nonetheless, I think for $100, really good purchase. Has a lot of water damage to it. But Captain Marvel, Whiz Comics number 20. And those are my books from 2024, guys. Have a happy new year. And looking forward to the next year of collecting. I hope everything goes well for everybody. Night Tiger, peace out.